The tragedy surrounding 19-year-old Jay Slater's disappearance and the eventual discovery of a body believed to be his has shaken the nation, uniting strangers in grief, sparking intense debates online, and leaving his family and friends in unspeakable pain. For weeks, the story played out in real time, gripping the public with a mixture of hope and dread as each new update emerged. But now, with the discovery of human remains in the treacherous mountain terrain where he was last seen, what many feared to be the worst possible ending has come to pass. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. An ex-detective who followed the case closely remarked that, while this heartbreaking conclusion brings devastation for Jay's family, it may also silence the relentless tide of online trolls who mocked, speculated, and hurled abuse at grieving loved ones during the search. The bittersweet reality is this: closure comes with pain, but also with the quieting of cruel voices that thrived on uncertainty. In this 2,000-word exploration, we'll journey through the timeline of events, the human stories behind the headlines, the toxic role of social media trolls, and the nuanced reflection of an ex-police officer who believes the discovery of Jay's body is both the darkest possible ending and, paradoxically, a release from the online circus. A holiday gone wrong. Jay Slater, a 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer from Oswaldtwistle, Lancashire, had traveled with friends to Tenerife in June for what was meant to be a carefree summer getaway. Known among his circle for his cheeky humor, adventurous spirit, and big heart, Jay had looked forward to sunshine, nightlife, and laughter. But what began as a lively holiday soon took a darker turn. After attending a festival with friends, Jay was last seen on June 17 heading toward the rugged mountain region of Masca, one of the island's most treacherous areas. His final phone call to a friend revealed that he was lost, dehydrated, and unsure of his surroundings. Then silence. Search efforts began almost immediately, involving local police, mountain rescue teams, and even drones scouring the rocky cliffs and valleys. Jay's family flew out to Tenerife, joining the desperate search and appealing to the public for help. As days turned into weeks, hope dwindled, yet his loved ones clung fiercely to the possibility of finding him alive. The long wait. The uncertainty was perhaps the hardest part. With no concrete leads, every rumor or unverified sighting sent waves of emotional whiplash through the family. Social media amplified the noise. Some strangers offered support and prayers, while others questioned motives, speculated about foul play, or accused the family of attention-seeking. Jay's mother, Debbie, and father, Warren, both faced the unenviable task of holding their family together while under the gaze of the public eye. His best friends, Lucy Maylaw and Brad, who had been on the holiday with him, found themselves reliving the night of his disappearance again and again, forced to answer questions from journalists, strangers, and even online trolls. For them, each day of silence was agony. The rugged mountains offered no answers, only haunting echoes of what might have happened. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The discovery. Weeks later, searchers stumbled upon a body in a remote location not far from where Jay's phone had last pinged. The area was so dangerous that even experienced hikers tread carefully. Steep drops, loose rocks, and narrow paths made it clear how perilous a wrong step could be. Though official identification is still pending, authorities and those close to the case have little doubt the remains belong to Jay. The news has devastated his family and silenced their fragile hopes. What was once an open-ended nightmare now has a grim full stop. It's the worst possible ending, an ex-detective who worked on similar missing persons cases reflected. You always pray the missing person turns up alive, that maybe they found shelter, that maybe they'll walk back into their loved one's arms. But when the body is found, that hope is extinguished forever. It's final, brutal, and it leaves families shattered. The silence of trolls. But the ex-cop also pointed out another dimension. The discovery, while heartbreaking, brings an end to the cruel wave of online abuse the family endured. In these kinds of high-profile cases, social media is a double-edged sword, he explained. On one side, you get people genuinely helping, spreading awareness, raising funds, offering emotional support. On the other, you get trolls. People hiding behind screens, accusing, mocking, spinning wild conspiracy theories. For Jay's family, that was an added trauma on top of the unimaginable pain of not knowing. Throughout the search, Jay's family were targeted with vile comments suggesting they weren't doing enough, that Jay had faked his disappearance, or that the story was just for attention. Some trolls even went so far as to question the sincerity of his mother's grief. Now, with the discovery of his body, the cruelest voices are likely to fade. Trolls thrive on uncertainty, the ex-detective said. When there's no conclusion, they can keep speculating, keep stirring the pot. But when the body is found, the story ends. There's no room left for their poison. That's the one small mercy here. At least the family won't have to fight both the grief of loss and the nastiness of strangers. The weight of closure. The word closure often feels inadequate in these circumstances. Can the discovery of a body truly bring closure when it cements the loss instead of restoring the missing? For Jay's family, closure means an end to uncertainty, but the beginning of grief that has no end date. His parents now face the unbearable task of bringing their son home, of arranging a funeral instead of a welcome home party, of living each day with a J-shaped hole in their lives. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. For his friends, closure means remembering the laughter they shared while grappling with the surreal reality that he's gone. They will never again hear his cheeky jokes or see him walk through the door with that mischievous grin. And for the public, closure means the headlines will eventually fade, but not before countless lessons are debated, about travel safety, about the role of social media, about how society treats grieving families when the spotlight turns hot. The ex-cop's reflection. The retired detective who weighed in on the case emphasized that, despite the painful ending, Jay's story may spark much-needed conversations. Every case like this should remind us of the fragility of life, he said. One wrong turn, one moment of being lost in the mountains, and a young man's future is gone. It should also remind us of how we treat each other online. Too often, families who are already suffering are targeted by people who think tragedy is entertainment. If the discovery of Jay's body silences even a fraction of that, it's something his family shouldn't have had to endure in the first place, but at least they'll get some peace. A nation in mourning. The ripple effect of Jay's story cannot be overstated. Communities across the UK have held vigils, shared tributes online, and raised funds to support the family. Strangers who never met Jay say they feel as though they've lost someone close. In a world already heavy with bad news, his story resonated because it could have been anyone's son, brother, or friend. The discovery of his body, while ending the search, has not ended the compassion. If anything, the outpouring of support has grown stronger, with thousands leaving messages of condolence and solidarity. Remembering Jay. In the end, Jay will not be remembered for the tragedy of his final days, but for the life he lived in the years he was given. His family and friends describe him as a vibrant, kind-hearted young man with a zest for life. His laugh was infectious, his loyalty fierce, and his dreams big. Though the worst possible ending has broken hearts, the silencing of trolls and the rallying of genuine compassion stand as reminders that humanity can shine even in the darkest times. Jay's story is a tragedy, but also a lesson in empathy, resilience, and the importance of holding loved ones close. Final thoughts. The discovery of Jay Slater's body has left a nation grieving, a family shattered, and a young life cut short. Yet, amid the darkness, there are glimmers of light, the silencing of trolls, the unity of communities, the remembrance of a life lived with joy. As the ex-cop reflected, this is the worst possible ending. But at least now, there's an ending. And maybe, just maybe, that will give Jay's family the chance to grieve in peace, away from the noise, the trolls, and the uncertainty. They deserve that much. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.